Hi everybody. Today we're going to reveal 3 major components that affect hormones that you may not be aware of that do make a significant difference in whether we have hormone balance or whether we have hormone dysregulation. So we're going to go over those things today in this video, and it should provide you significant information to hopefully help you make better decisions in your life. Hello, I'm Dr. Brandon Bupp with Advanced Health and Wellness Center. I'm the owner here. I specialize in functional medicine as well as advanced technologies that we can utilize to help people heal, and as well as corrective chiropractic care. And I have our awesome medical provider, Leah, is here with me. You want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Leah Klein. I'm a physician assistant in the office, orthopedically trained in injections, and then I'm also trained in functional medicine as well.
So what we want to talk about today is hormones and hormone imbalances, something that we see a lot in our patients. And also something that people want more natural answers to. The 3 big components that we see people struggling with, or see things that will maybe involve or affect hormones negatively. Number 1 is stress. Right? So we'll talk about how stress can have an impact on that, which leads to something that we see in estrogen dominance. So a lot of times people are either not processing out estrogen or they're not making enough progesterone. So those components there that we want to go through. And then the last thing is, are there foods that will either increase or decrease or help with hormone balancing? So the first one, stress.
Stress and its relationship to hormone production is super important. So we see a lot of our patients that are what we call sympathetic dominant or fight or flight prone, basically. So your body gets stuck into kind of the fight or flight response when you're under chronic stress, and one of the aspects or symptoms of that is your body starts to dysregulate your hormone production. So including your cortisol, which is a stress hormone, your thyroid takes effect too, but also would apply to the progesterone, estrogen, testosterone cycle as well. So your body is in panic or survival mode, and some of those regulating your hormones does not take priority sometimes in that scenario.
So we call that the HPA axis. So that's the hypothalamus, which acts on the pituitary, and then the next part of that is the adrenals. But the pituitary also affects what major organ?
Your thyroid.
Your thyroid, right? It could almost be a square.
Triangle, diamond,
yeah.
Triangle.
So when we talk about the hypothalamus is the highest kind of brain component that's involved in regulating how our body responds to stress. And a lot of times if we're exposed to stress over years and years and years, we develop a hypersensitivity to it. And so then we look at the pituitary. So the hypothalamus acts on the pituitary, then affects cortisol as well as thyroid hormones. So if we just stuck in that part of the conversation, we see that a lot of people will have cortisol problems, meaning cortisol will go up for a period of time, and then it can even crash for a period of time, which is even worse. So we look at adrenal fatigue and also adrenal exhaustion. And when that's occurring, we also find that people will typically have thyroid issues, thyroid numbers that are not what they should be, because the stress is affecting the pituitary. Anything to add to that?
No, just that it's all a regulated cycle. The body functions appropriately until it reaches a maximum amount of energy output, and then it doesn't have any more basically to give to regulate that. So that's when these changes in your thyroid numbers or the cortisol numbers kind of set in, when the body reaches its maximum energetic output potential, and we just kind of start to crash at that point.
One of the things we go back to and we look at our advanced health pyramid, we are able to handle these imbalances by a lot of different lifestyle things. So before we get too far off track, I want to get back into something else that goes along with that, which is estrogen dominance. How does estrogen dominance occur in this hyper stress scenario? So it's stress first, which leads to typically estrogen dominance.
The estrogen dominance is, I think, more of a problem, now than it had been in the past, just because of exposure to hormones and medications and things like that. But as far as relationship to stress, your body could be producing less progesterone to even out the estrogen, or your body is not detoxing out the extra estrogen that's kind of floating around the system, so you're holding on to more of that. We can do hormone testing to kind of see where you're high or low in those specific hormones, but that's usually the scenario.
Which can also be related to what some people refer to as cortisol steal, where cortisol is stealing they're both coming from the pituitary. Cortisol is kind of stealing the raw products from what the body is trying to do with thyroid hormones or other types of hormones. DHEA being a major one. So it doesn't get to follow that pathway like it's supposed to. And so we have more cortisol, less DHEA, which leads to less progesterone.
Hydroxyprogesterone is a hormone too that they can do a saliva test for, which is the precursor to making your cortisol. But if we're not getting cortisol doing what it should be doing, then you've got that extra kind of hormone floating around too that's not supposed to be there. So that's something you can test for too.
So not to be too geeky and lose you guys, but we have a couple of really cool stories. Have you done some estrogen dominance work with women?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And?
So estrogen dominance, like I said, it's a big problem. Any menopausal type symptom, or even in cycling women that have, irregular periods or heavy periods or pain with periods, or they haven't had one for a period of time. I mean, we're treating a slew of female symptoms, and we see good results with supplemental treatment, helping the body to detox, following specific nutrition program, and using some technology. The symptoms can resolve, and then we actually can regulate periods and all that kind of stuff.
There's actually a supplement protocol where we are supporting thyroid or hypothalamus, pituitary, and the body's ability to produce progesterone through the ovaries.
It can affect fertility too, so that's some of the things that we have seen.
Anything you'd like to add to that?
We like those stories. So when we have patients that come in and they've been trying to get pregnant and it's not happened for them for so long, and they've tried all the traditional medication type of things, and then we're able to help their bodies to detox and get them on a good supplement hormone regimen, follow the right nutrition guidelines, get things functioning better, and we have had patients get pregnant after that.
You might not know about this. It just happened on Monday.
Oh.
So you had a person doing the estrogen dominance protocol, and she had been struggling to get pregnant, and she literally just told us on Monday that she found out she was pregnant.
Awesome.
Right? So another pregnancy in the books for you.
Yay. We like those stories.
And then foods. Any foods you would recommend from a food standpoint with people?
I think it's pretty well understood, even among laymen, that dairy is going to affect your hormones because they're literally feeding the cows hormones. So you get the milk from the cows who have been given hormones, and then you're ingesting it. So we cut out dairy when we're following our anti-inflammatory program. But basically, we want your body to not have chronic inflammation. So we don't eat much gluten, we don't do much sugar, we really limit those things that are more inflammatory to the body. The more inflammation, the less proper functioning of all that hormone balancing that's going to be happening.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Sugar is also a big component of that. And then the other component is synthetic chemicals. We're trying to stay away from these. A lot of these different chemicals will actually mimic thyroid hormones, like fluoride will interact and kind of steal these reception areas where hormones attach to different cells. And so it decreases or negatively impacts the production of those things or how they're able to be used. Synthetic hormones will definitely make a big difference, and we call it synthetic estrogens or phytoestrogens that will mimic estrogen, and so again not even raises estrogens even more. So there's plenty of things that a person can do from a lifestyle standpoint. We address that in our pyramid, and so that's kind of what we go through. We'll make sure that we attach the pyramid to this video so you can understand what we're talking about. If you would like to have more information on this, all you have to do is call the office. Phone number is 330-336-9500. Or respond. You can go to our Facebook page. You can respond to us via email. It's info@adv-health.com. You can send us a message on our website. But really the first step is to schedule a time to either meet with myself or with Leah and do an evaluation to find out what would be the first next step. She has some pretty advanced testing that we do to find out where we're at from a hormonal standpoint, and then we can make recommendations from there. But the first step is just doing that consultation. So take advantage of that opportunity. It's free. We offer a free discovery call and find out what we can do to help. And then number 2, subscribe to our channel here. Hit like, subscribe to the channel, because we want to continue to roll out content to you every week on these different topics that we hope can make an impact on advancing our health, trying to function optimally, and have the best quality of life we possibly can.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye.